when you first boot your PLC up, you're going to see this screen. So first thing that it'll do is you have a manual pump shutdown, which basically will go remotely from the laptop. If you want to show the laptop for a second, where you are, you can do that wirelessly. Start and stop the pump down here on the screen. And the other unit, it just mimics it. It'll turn the pumps on and off. So you'll have a remote turn on and off. Then on your main screen, both of them are connected together. So if you want to show, you can see everything. This shows all the parameters. Shows your liquid pressure. Right now it's running at 25 pounds. Oxygen flow is at 2.1 liters per minute. Liquid flow is 72 liters per minute. Oxygen feed pressure. If this drops below 60 pounds, it'll shut down the system. Total liquid pump. Right now it's 61 liters. If you want to reset that for any reason, push the reset button, enter in your password, enter, and it resets it. And you can do this remotely on the other screen also. If for oxygen pressure, what I'm going to do is I'll just pinch off the line. So just keep recording that. I'm going to pinch off the line. So it should drop below 60 pounds. We've lost our oxygen pressure, the system shuts off. You can see down here. If I let the pressure back up, it goes up 80, that's up to 80 pounds again. Should run it around 80, 85 pounds. It'll be good. As long as it's more than 60, it won't shut off. So everything's back and operating again automatically. Next screen. If we go down to oxygen flow output, what this does is there's a manual override. Right now it automatically follows the flow of water for the amount of oxygen that goes into the unit. So if you've got more pressure, it's going to automatically compensate by putting in more oxygen flow. So right now I'll just vary the pressure. We'll go back to the main menu screen just for a second, so I didn't do that before. So if you watch the liquid pressure and the oxygen flow, what I'm going to do is increase the back pressure. When I do that, you should see a large increase in oxygen flow. Now it's up. Oxygen flow rate, it's up to 4. Maximum flow at 5 on this, set for 5. As we get it up to higher pressure, but we've also, you see you're down to 22 liters per minute on your flow rate. So it does follow automatically. I'm reducing the pressure, back pressure, on the outlet. Now if you vary the inlet pressure, I'll just use a valve down here. So if I pull that valve closed a bit, what it's going to do up here in the screen, you're going to see your flow rate's going to drop. We'll take it back to 50. We've only got 11 pounds liquid pressure in the module now. So it also reduces the amount of flow of oxygen to correspond, because you just can't put that much oxygen into the water at that low flow and that low pressure. So it'll automatically compensate. So I thought I'd show you that. It's very versatile. Now to go back to the menu button on the left side, we hit the menu, and then we go down here to oxygen flow output. What we have on this screen is a flow output that's 4 to 20 milliamp equals 0 to 8 liters per minute. This is just the calibration that I use. Don't touch that. So we have 4 to 20 milliamp, which is equal to 0 to 8 liters per minute. So I've just done a calibration to make sure that at the flow rate that it's at right now, this is the actual reading. It's 2.3 liters per minute with liquid pressure of 29 psi. Now, if you decide that for whatever reason, we want to put more oxygen flow into the unit, we can override it using this O2 flow output manual override. That can be done remotely on the laptop also, or it can be done manually here. So when I push the switch on, the flow rate of oxygen should drop to 1 liter per minute, which it did. If you want to go in and change that, say you want to put it to 4 liters per minute, you just type in 4, hit enter, and now we're flowing it at 4 liters per minute at this pressure. Oxygen flow output 4 liters per minute, set at 4 liters. Now the thing is that this is no longer automatic. This will stay at 4 liters per minute no matter what your flow rate. So it should run it with the switch off in normal operation. It'll return back to its normal calibrated flow rate corresponding with the water flow. There's one other feature. It's called the oxygen flow output disable. And what this will do is, if for whatever reason you want to remotely deactivate the system, you can do it here or you can do it remotely. I'll show you on the computer what happens. So what you want to do is, if you hit flow output disable, hit the set button, it shuts down the oxygen flow. If you look down on the screen, mirrors the same thing. You can see it set. Now if someone tries to turn the switch over to hand, the system will start, but there's only one problem with it. You are running, but you're not delivering any oxygen to the system. So this locks them out from using it if you want to do that for any reason. The unit is inoperative right now. Even though it's pumping, it'll transfer liquid, but it won't oxygenate anything. But in normal operation in auto mode, everything is disabled. If you want to re-enable it, you have to hit the reset button. What happens is a touch screen comes up, numeric entry, and you have to put a password in. And hit enter, and everything's going again. So the next thing you have down on the bottom is trending. So what this does is it records the amount of flow rate that you have in your system. So you can record it into a SD card, which is inside of the PLC. It can be removed, put in your computer, or you can download it remotely. The first thing you want to do if you want to start recording to the SD card is start, stop, retrend. So you hit this first button and it starts to record your flow rate. There's your flow there. If you want to save it to your SD, hit the next button. Now it's saving to the SD card. So this is recording this to your SD card. If for any reason your flow rate changes, I'll just restrict it a little bit and show. You'll see the flow change on the trend. Increase it again, and it will record the amount of flow versus time. So if you and when you're done recording the session, you can shut everything down by hitting this button, stop your trend, and then you have to remove your SD card, which is inside the panel. You have to hit that button so it says OK. Might have to hit it twice. So the only other things on the control panel, which aren't really a big deal to worry about, are set points. Actually, this is a big deal. This part here tells you the feed temperature in your feed tank. and the recirc temperature in your recirculation tank. Right now the recirc probe is it's just hanging in the air because I haven't got it connected to the tank. So this probe would have to go into a line or into the tank somehow to record the water temperature. And what that would do is automatically turn on the recirc pump if this recirc temperature meets or exceeds 15 degrees or whatever you want to set into it. This set point can be changed numerically. So you can type in a different number if you want to put in a higher temperature or a lower temperature, and that's where you change that. Same with the set point for the high temperature cutout. This high temperature cutout means that the feed pump, if it starts pumping liquid any more than 55 degrees right now through the system or into the system, then it'll lock itself out until the temperature goes below that point. I just picked 55 as a number. It can be anything up to probably 80 degrees. The instrument setup has already been done. These are the numbers. I'll record these numbers. These are for calibration purposes. There's two screens here. If you just hit the forward and back button, all that does is it sets all the variables for the 4 to 20 milliamp outputs of all the instruments. For the liquid pressure, two pressure switches for oxygen and liquid, for the temperature 1, and temperature 2, and your flow 1 for your oxygen, and your flow 2 for your liquid flow. So those are all set right now. You shouldn't have to change them unless you get a really bad discrepancy in your flow rates. Lastly, there's alarms. This basically tells you that we have two alarm situations right now. There's one that's still ongoing, as you can tell. That alarm is because I have the recirc pump running, and I've set the set point below the normal start point so that it will so I can run it, basically. If I set this to a higher number, above the 21 degrees in the room, if I set it at 25, then the pump will stop. It won't restart until the temperature comes up to 25. Unless I change it here. So let's put it down below the temperature of the room, which is 21. I'll put it back to like 15 degrees, and it'll start up again. Same goes for the high temperature, except the other way around. So that just about covers it.